Hello and good. Amanda. I am the community outreach coordinator here at the Missouri Poison Center. And today we're going to talk about some of the outdated poison treatments and remedies that you might have heard over the years. There are many things that we used to do for poisoning, but we don't do anymore for specific reasons. And we'll talk through some of those as we go. So let's go ahead and get started. First question or sort of remedy we hear quite often is inducing vomiting. Should I induce vomiting after I swallowed a poison? We used to do this. In fact, we'll talk about ipecac syrup next, but we used to do this thinking it would help, remove the substance or make the poison get out of the body. But actually, there are a few reasons why we don't do this any further. And forced vomiting is not really that beneficial. It really doesn't improve the situation. There's already been some absorption. And then if somebody has swallowed something that's corrosive, something that can cause a burn, forcing them to vomit can cause worsening burn, as well as other parts of the body that could be exposed a second time. Also, if somebody is vomiting and they might be drowsy or affected by a poison, they can really have trouble with choking, and they can choke on that vomit, and that can be really harmful, especially if something like gasoline or something that's like that kind of substance is involved. So forced vomiting is never recommended. It is recommended, of course, that you call the Poison Center for specific treatment advice. Along the same lines, ipecac syrup, why is it not available over the counter anymore? So if you are of a certain generation, we all had ipecac syrup in our medicine cabinet for when a poisoning would occur. It has not been on the market since the early 2000s, but it is still something people bring up or want to go and purchase. So using this drug or medication to cause somebody to vomit used to be an over-the-counter standard. But with clinical and scientific review, medical professionals found that it just causes more harm than good to make somebody throw up. And this is according to the American Academy of Clinical Toxicology and other experts. Along the same lines, we don't want to use any other substances to make a person throw up, making concoctions of gross things like mustard water or salt water solutions. And that one specifically can be really dangerous because you can overdose on salt unintentionally as well. So avoid all of those sorts of home treatments and just give the Poison Center a call for specific medical advice. Another one we hear about is, should I use activated charcoal to neutralize the poison? Activated charcoal should only be used in healthcare settings under direct medical supervision. It's the most effective in those settings and can create a false sense of security in those who might use something like this at home, thinking they've absorbed the poison or that their symptoms will not occur because they used it. Additionally, if somebody vomits after using activated charcoal, they can inhale that and cause pneumonia and other breathing issues. The idea is that activated charcoal absorbs toxins in the body in the event of a poisoning. However, charcoal might also absorb important medications and your good gut bacteria. And so that really can cause more problems beyond just the poisoning itself. So it can be used in medical settings with direct supervision, but it should not be used at home and is not an effective way to treat a home poisoning. Going further back in time, we all might have heard some vintage antidote sort of situations, and people do think about fluids like milk, coffee, or tea helping with poison or poisoning. We do often give water to dilute a poison after somebody swallows something, and milk may coat and soothe the stomach if the person is a milk drinker. But there are some times that we don't want to give certain fluids, and certainly black coffee or caffeinated beverages probably are a little more irritating than necessary. Does not get rid of the body's poisons. Caffeine does not. So giving the body some time to process that. And while tea does have potential health benefits, it's not really an antidote. So the best thing to do is call the poison center. Often we will say something like water, sometimes milk, depending on the irritability of the stomach and the product, but we can give you specific advice. And certainly someone who is having trouble breathing, having trouble swallowing, is persistently vomiting, we don't want to give them anything by mouth. Another question we get asked often is, should I neutralize a chemical on my skin? So, for example, they get something very acidic on the skin, and so they think I should apply the opposite, something very basic that can cause sort of neutralization. And mixing chemicals can produce a heat sensation, or not a sensation, actual heat, which can produce burns of the mouth, skin, eyes, or whatever part the body is exposed to and the chemical. So attempting to neutralize a chemical with the opposite is actually more harm than good. The immediate step is to flush the exposed area with lots and lots of lukewarm water. And then after you start that rinsing right away, you can start and give us a call for more specific detailed instruction as well. So you might be asking, well, what do I do if I get if I am poisoned or poisoning does occur? Because you're telling me all these things I should not do. Well, the bottom line is not all medical advice online is reliable. There's still many outdated remedies that circulate in forums and blogs, and we get misguided information. So if you're ever unsure of what to do, I would encourage you to call the Poison Helpline at 1-800-222 1222 before trying anything. And medical experts, including specially trained nurses and pharmacists, can give you specific poison related treatment advice for your situation. In most cases, you want to do that first, but you can always start rinsing the eyes or skin with water and then give us a call right away. So let's make sure you have that phone number handy for any poison exposure, whether it's on the skin, in the mouth, the eyes, or inhaled or otherwise. Please save the poison helpline in your phone today. It's 1-800-222 1222. And please give us a call. We're available 24/7 for any poison related exposure.